Right. It is 5 o'clock. I will call the Finance and Personnel Committee to order. We will begin with the roll. Alder LaFave? Here. Alder Decker?
Here.
Alder Perella? Here. Alder Feldy?
Here.
Mitchell is here. We have a full quorum today. Will you all please join me in the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God.
Oh, I got my mic turned off. He probably didn't even hear my ear.
All right, with a packed room, I will still ask, barring objections, we jump over item 4, the introductions, and seeing no objection, move on to item 5, which is approval of the minutes from our January 13th meeting. Do we have any discussion on those minutes? If not, we'd be looking for that motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second on approval of the minutes. Seeing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All opposed? Chair votes aye. The ayes have it. The motion passes. Minutes are approved. Next up is item number 6, resolution number 150 of 2425, a resolution supporting the partial release of judgment liens filed on behalf of the city against property owned by the estate of Ray R. Papp.
Yes, so this is in front of you, just to give you a little bit of a background. Ray Poppy, and now her estate, as she's passed away, owned a number of properties within the city of Sheboygan, a number of which had building code issues over the years, and judgments have been taken against those properties because of the code violations. Once judgments are taken, if the fines are not paid, then what will happen is the court will actually docket the judgment in the circuit court so that if there's any attempt to buy or sell property owned by the defendant, in this case the estate, then it shows up and they have to deal with that before the sale can go through. In this particular case, the Poppy estate has been working to sell off the properties to people who are willing to fix them up and bring them back into compliance with the code. You'll see that a portion of the judgment liens have been paid as a result of that process. What they are asking for is, in this particular case, we have a single property that has sold, and the proceeds from that sale are actually being held in escrow. And the Poppy estate is asking that basically they be allowed to keep $20,000 from the sale of the estate so that they can continue to manage the estate, manage the other property or properties that they own in the city, get those either fixed up or sold off. The city would take the balance of that and apply it to the amount that's owed, which currently is about $124,000. In looking at that, it's totally your call whether you want to do that. We presented it to you basically, at the request of the Poppy estate. It does seem to be a fairly, I don't particularly have an objection to it. It does seem to make some sense to allow the estate, since we're not talking about the person who let the property fall into this. We're now talking about the estate that's trying to solve the problem, and allowing them to get at least a small portion of the proceeds so that they can continue to operate and continue to sell off the properties makes some sense to me. Does that mean we will ever collect the full $124,000 balance that remains? Probably not. But the truth is, when we take these very large judgments on these properties, we do so not in hopes of actually collecting a lot of money, but in hopes of actually bringing the properties up to code. So this process is assisting in doing that. So if you approve it, the city will get paid out of that money out of closing all but $20,000, apply it to this, and then the Poppy estate will continue with their remaining properties.
Do you know what the final sale price is? I'm assuming it's not going to be $104,000 collected, so just
No,
what's owed minus the 20?
I don't have it in front of me, but it was not even a 6-digit sale price.
Okay. Which I suppose makes sense. in light of the conditions of the property.
Right.
Any questions or comments, Alder Decker?
I guess my question, how many properties are we talking are involved with this? Do they have
I'm not sure
quite
how many properties she has overall. She at least has one more in the city, but she may have others out in the county, and these liens will apply to all of her properties. In fact,
Okay.
the first lien releases that we did in the past were for properties we got paid on some properties in Plymouth.
Okay,
We didn't have a judgment on them, but the lien goes onto all properties owned by the estate.
okay.
Alder Perrella?
And there is also the possibility that we don't get anything.
Yeah, in this case, we will get something out of it.
Okay.
There's always the possibility when we take judgments that we don't collect on those judgments. Again, our number one goal in building inspection, in getting the judgments, is not actually to collect the dollars, but to get enforcement, to get them to bring the property up to code. And that, it does seem to me that that is happening as a result of this process.
Yeah.
Alder LaFave?
Okay, so if we accept, or if we go along with this partial release, you're telling us that's probably the surest way to make sure that these entities are up to code. So therefore, it would be the best way to make public safety
Right.
the best.
This enables these sales to happen, and the estate itself is probably unlikely to be able to, on their own, do that. So allowing them to sell these properties so that an investor can do that seems to make more sense.
Okay. Understood.
And then, this is the first time the estate has had a request like this from us, right?
So this is the first request related to a property in the city, yes.
Okay.
We've dealt with smaller properties not in the city that didn't have to come to you because they were within the jurisdiction to make that decision without going to council. This one is large enough, it has to come to you.
Okay, so it's not, the third time that we're doing this and
No.
not seeing a lot of progress being made yet. In that case,
Yeah.
it does make perfect sense to me that if our actual goal is to see the properties brought back up to code, to be brought back up to a state where they're usable, this agreement makes sense.
Yeah.
Alder Perrella?
Thank you, Chair. So do we know if those $20,000 will be reinvested in this specific property?
Not necessarily the specific property. It wouldn't be this specific property because it's the proceeds from the sale of this property to someone else who has bought the property with the idea of fixing the property. But what it does is allows the estate to continue to operate because they don't have, the estate really, the only assets it has are these properties. So that's not liquid. So this allows them to continue now to hire people to sell off the remainder of the properties. And potentially they could use this money to fix up their remaining property or properties, but more likely, what I'm being told is they're looking to try to sell all of their properties.
Right, so obviously couldn't go, even if they wanted to, it wouldn't go on this property because this property is going to be sold.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
It actually has been sold. The money is sitting
Oh,
in an
okay.
escrow account waiting for this determination.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments? If not, we would likely be looking for a motion to approve, or if committee decides, recommendation to deny.
I make a motion to approve.
Second,
All right, we have a motion, a second for approval. Seeing no further discussion. All in favor?
All right.
aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Chair votes aye. The ayes have it, and the motion passes. That one is approved. The next regularly scheduled meeting of this body will be on February 10th, and with that, we have exhausted our agenda and would be looking for a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
All right, we have a motion, a second. All in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
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 All opposed? Chair votes aye. The ayes have it, and the motion passes. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for bearing with us through that one.
Thank you.